Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Thanks for tuning in on a weekend. Got another weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show. It's kind of funny. We've not done this before, so it's kind of hard to get used to this, isn't it?
We did it last week.
I know, but I'm saying we're still kind of getting in the swing of the weekend deal. So for those of you listening on the weekend, thank you so much for doing that. Coming up, we got a couple of special things happening this weekend. We'll tell you what that is. And right now, I found this quite interesting, and I've got some ideas. Tempe, Arizona Krispy Kreme that went bankrupt is auctioning off their equipment, including a machine that makes 600 dozen donuts an hour.
Oh.
So I got an idea.
That's cool.
They're remodeling the break room here.
You think they need that machine?
600 dozen donuts an hour. I'm just saying.
Between that and the popcorn, we'd have to widen the entrance.
I will put that in the suggestion box just in case. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
This weekend is a special weekend, Heidi. You know what's going on this weekend?
What's that?
Well, we have Love Your Pet Day. We also have Northern Hemisphere Hoodie Hoo Day, whatever that is, Hoodie Hoo Day. World Day for Social Justice Day. All those things were Saturday. Then Sunday, International Mother Language Day, World Information Architecture Day, and the Daytona 500. All of that stuff going on this weekend. So get out there and celebrate however you would like to celebrate. Coming up in a bit, we've got a couple of interesting stories to share, and we appreciate you tuning in right here on the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVWheelator.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVWheelator.com.
And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Here we go again. It appears that Therese Odell just wasn't meant to have a washing machine, at least not a working one. Here's what happened. Listen to this story. The woman took a repairman hostage, Heidi.
Okay.
Because her washing machine kept breaking down. With little help from the store that she bought it from, she decided to take matters into her own hands. She held the repairman hostage for 3 hours until the store agreed to bring her a new washing machine. And they did. No charges were pressed.
Wow.
However, no sooner had the delivery man left when the replacement washing machine broke as well.
Oh, my gosh. I bet she lost it.
Therese Odell is now on her third washing machine in the space of a week after the store replaced her original machine, and then they replaced the replacement machine. So, Therese Odell, boy, what a story you've got. And I wonder if it's something with the brand of machine, or if it's, if it's something that she's doing. Why in the world would they break down so dang often?
I don't know. Yeah, it must be something with that particular machine.
And the repairman couldn't get it to work, so she held him hostage until they agreed to bring a new washing machine. I could see you do that. He's so upset. You're like, you aren't leaving. I am too. No. You were staying right there. I'm calling your manager. We're getting a new machine. Don't you dare leave. I'll lock you in this laundry room if I have to. Anyway, that all happened, and it's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. And today's not your brain on drugs. It's cricket's brains that are on drugs, Heidi. China has had a long-standing fascination with crickets. And recently, they began exhibiting crickets in beauty contests, cricket singing competitions as well, and even cricket prize fighting. Yeah, these are real things. However, according to the Los Angeles Times, the obsession has led to an increasing vigilance about crickets cheating with the performance-enhancing drugs.
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding?
The doping of crickets allegations come from the singing cricket competition as the drugs slow down their vibrations of the cricket's wings, thus producing an attractively lower pitch. Guess how much they win for the high prize of a cricket singing contest?
I have no idea.
$10,000.
Holy cow.
That is quite the fascination with crickets. And even though the crickets are the ones on drugs, you'd have to be on drugs to spend $10,000 to watch a bunch of crickets. I just don't get it. As a matter of fact, when we have crickets making noises at our place, we try to get rid of the crickets. So maybe we need to capture them and go win some money.
That is ridiculous.
All right. We've got your moment of duh. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Ronald Dupas is a police officer in Michigan. Officer Dupas used a taser stun gun to stop an argument over a soft drink. Now, I was not involved, but let's find out what happened here. The two suspects were struggling over the steering wheel. Officer Dupas hit Prima Graham's leg with his department-issued taser gun. She wasn't seriously hurt. Sounds like a good caller, huh? Well, the problem, or the award-winning fact, is this. Prima Graham is also a police officer. In fact, she's an officer that was in the car with this officer, Officer Dupas. They're partners. It was the two of them that were arguing. It wasn't somebody that they had stopped.
Huh.
And she was trying to take a soft drink that he wanted.
Wow.
She wasn't driving, thank goodness. He tried to taser her to stop. So he smacked her with the taser, and he was fired. He could get up to 93 days in jail, too.
Well, yeah, I would hope so.
Oh, she was driving. So she was driving at the time. It says he tried to taser her into a stop. I don't know what that means.
Wow.
Anyway, there you go. I should have pre-read that a little bit. But, yeah, one officer tased another officer. That's fascinating. Yeah, it is fascinating. I'm going to tase you.
Why?
I don't know. See what happens.
I can tell you what would happen. It wouldn't be pretty.
I would get kicked in an area that we can't talk about. All right. Got a lot of things on the way. We'll share all of this in the Scoop of the Day.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your Scoop of the Day. First story here is about something that when this guy was arrested, it's what he told the police officers that make it interesting. They found a person, a woman, was jailed in Pittsburgh for 4 recent store robberies.
Whoa.
When asked, why were you robbing these stores, she said, well, I needed the money for dog food and kitty litter.
Of course.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Dog food and kitty litter. So she's robbing places for that? Don't do that. Hey, there's some emojis that are out, and of the 184 new emojis that Apple released to devices back in October, the most popular is not the taco. Which one do you think it is?
The most popular emoji?
Yeah.
The smiley face.
It's a face with rolling eyes of the new ones, of all the new ones. So if you want the new ones, and the one of the least popular was the taco. Why would we need an emoji for a taco?
Exactly. I don't have any idea.
I don't get emojis.
Some of them that are on there, when I'm getting ready to send them, I'm like, why is this
I don't
even
get
there?
it. Hey, according to research data of the thousands of people who got engaged across the U.S. on Valentine's Day a week ago, only 54% will actually make it to the altar.
That's sad.
So we're not talking about getting divorced. We're talking about they didn't even get hitched. So they
but
said,
you know what? That's better than the alternative of going through with it and then getting divorced.
Do you?
So.
I do. Do you? I do. And then later, I don't. Never mind. Another banana story. We had a couple of banana stories last week. Your dad was telling on Tuesdays with Charlie about a guy with the name Banana, and he outlawed the use of jokes about him. Well, a man dressed in a banana costume shut down a council meeting in Victoria, Australia Monday.
Okay.
The intruder handed out bananas in the gallery and to council members. The man was apparently protesting a controversial trip made by the town's mayor to Australia, the mayor of this town, Coffs Harbour, Australia, which is big for its banana landmark.
So what's this problem with this guy going to?
He went from Victoria, Australia to Coffs Harbour, Australia at taxpayers' expense. And he's like,
oh my God, he would have a freaking fit if he was in this country.
Yeah, he's like, I don't think he should have been going there. So he dressed as a banana and he went in. What would we dress as here? Golf clubs?
A set of golf clubs?
I'm not sure exactly. Hey, a migraine headache expert from New Jersey claims that dark chocolate and candles can actually trigger migraine headaches.
Really?
Dr. Donica Moore suggests that you might want to maybe substitute plans if you're having a date night, if you don't want that headache to come along. Instead of doing dark chocolate and candles, maybe white chocolate and light bulbs, huh? I don't know. Maybe not. Hey, a South Carolina man accused of stealing from a convenience store was caught pretty darn easily. You want to know why?
Why is that?
It was his getaway. Tom Bennett allegedly entered a store, grabbed 2 cases of drinks, and headed out the door. As he jumped into his truck and drove off, he looked in his rearview mirror and noticed a store employee was chasing him on foot, and he was catching up to him. Unfortunately for Bennett, he'd run out of gas.
Oh, man.
He just robbed a gas station.
Oh, man.
Officers arrived at the same time, and they took Bennett into custody. You might, next time.
That's a bad day right there.
Pay attention and maybe fill up while you're doing.
Before you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never robbed a place. I'm not claiming to be an expert because I'm not. I don't want to be an expert at that. All right, you ready for a strange law?
Sure thing.
It is illegal to kiss on a train in the state of Wisconsin. So if you're going to kiss on a train, you got to wait till you get, out of the state apparently, or get off the train. I don't know. It's kind of a crazy thing. It's a strange law. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Hey, we got a bonus break because it's the weekend, and our bonus break here, instead of having a guest, we decided we're going to do a second scoop for the Scoop of the Day. I got a couple of stories that we just never have time to get to during the week.
All right.
Here we go. A clever idea is to wear a T-shirt that says Fort Worth Police, so people wouldn't think you're a shoplifter, right? Well, that's a stupid idea, is to not make sure before you shoplift that the real Fort Worth Police chief isn't shopping right next to you. It's what happened. Chief Ralph Mendoza knows his men, but he didn't recognize the guy in the T-shirt next to him. Store employees notified the chief that he may be shoplifting, and sure enough, the suspect is now accused of shoplifting and accused of falsely identifying himself as a police officer. Because even wearing a T-shirt saying that you're a police officer is officially calling yourself a police officer.
People just never amaze me anymore. I'm just...
Just when you think you've heard it all, then you hear something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not a real estate agent. You're not a real estate agent. We know some people that are real estate agents, but I never thought of this before. But the good folks over at Wallet Hub, they send me stuff all the time. I don't know why, because I've never even gone to their website. I don't even know what they do. Honestly, I have no clue what they do. But they send me this stuff, and this is 2016's best and worst cities to be a real estate agent. And Heidi guessed the worst right away. But we're going to talk about the top 10 best places. Now, these are of the top 150 most populated cities, and they use 13 key metrics ranging from sales per agent to annual median wage for real estate agents to housing market health index, all of these things. But I know it is the weekend, and this is the time that people like to go to open houses and all that stuff. So I thought, let's share this. So the best cities to be a real estate agent. Where should we start? Number 1 or number 10?
Start at number 1.
Number 1, Denver, Colorado. That is the best place to be a real estate agent in the United States of America, according to this survey. Irvine, California is number 2. Then Seattle, Washington. Austin, Texas. Aurora, Colorado. Colorado's twice in the top 5.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And they got another one coming up here, too. But first, we have Portland, Oregon, number 6. 7th place is Indianapolis, Indiana. San Francisco, California is number 8. And Colorado Springs, Colorado is number 9. And then Boston, Massachusetts, number 10. Again, those are the 10 best places to live if you are a real estate agent. They say they make more money, they're happier, they've got, again, all these key metrics. And it's the number of sales per agent, median home prices, annual median wage for real estate agents, real estate job density. Density. Destiny. It's my density. It's my destiny. I don't know. I think it's my density right now. And also the unemployment rate of agents, turnover rate, number of days on the market, all of those things. Now let's talk about the worst places. Heidi guessed the worst right out of the chute when I asked her, and she said
Detroit,
Michigan. Yeah. But let's work our way down to Detroit. Number 141 on the list is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Number 142 on the list, Hialeah, Florida. Now, how many times have they made it on the list? They're always on the bottom.
Always
I've never
for
been
bad
there.
Things, yeah.
Yeah, I want to go there sometime just because I feel bad for them. They should put out postcards that say, "Come visit us, please. We need it." 143 on the list, Mobile, Alabama. Number 144, Philadelphia, PA. 145, Aurora, Illinois. 146, Brownsville, Texas. These, again, are the worst places to be a real estate agent. 147, Jackson, Missouri. 148, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Number 149, Columbus, Georgia. And the worst place in the nation to be a real estate agent, again, according to, I'm not against any of this, but according to the folks at Wallet Hub, they say Detroit, Michigan is the worst place in the nation to be a real estate agent. So there you go.
I think that's probably the worst state in the nation to be pretty much anything.
I don't know. I just think it's interesting stuff. That's going to do it for our bonus scoop of the day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a weekend.
This portion of the program is brought to you by carsforsale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at carsforsale.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
4,000 people live in Antarctica in the summertime, but only 1,000 people during the wintertime. Wonder why that is.
Yeah, gee.
It's getting kind of chilly. I think I'm going to leave. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Take a listen to this. Men who eat a moderate amount of vegetables, especially leafy green vegetables like broccoli and spinach, have a far lower risk of developing colon cancer.
Really?
According to a new study from the National Cancer Institute in Bethesda, Maryland, they say you should eat more spinach and broccoli, and I actually like both of those, so
Well, then you should eat more of it.
I think I should. There's a couple of fun facts for you on a weekend.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Take a listen to this. Do you multitask behind the wheel, Heidi?
Sometimes.
Like reading a text message or making a phone call or maybe even eating a meal. We all know it's dangerous, but how dangerous? Listen to this. 80% of all car crashes and 65% of near crashes involve some form of driver inattention during a 3-second event before the accident or the almost accident. Pretty big numbers.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Of course, in some way they were not paying attention. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't have been an accident.
Well, or something could jump out in front of you. there's reasons, but again, 80% of all crashes, 65% of near crashes happened to have some sort of inattention thing right before the actual accident. The studies from Virginia Tech Transportation Institute in Blacksburg, Virginia, U.S. News and World Report has identified the top 5 riskiest driving distractions. What do you think they are?
Texting.
Texting is the number one answer. Of all the distractions occupying your attention, that is the most dangerous. Whether you're reading or typing a text, you're 23.2 times more likely to have an accident. So don't do it. Next one is dialing a cell phone, and I do that.
You do that all the time, and it makes me so nervous.
But the good news is I only increase my risk of crash 2.8 times compared to 23.2 times on that other one.
2.8 times.
I know, I'm saying. It's better than the other one anyway. So dialing a cell phone, it says don't take your eyes off the road even for a few seconds. Next one is dealing with your kids. Passengers of any age in the car cause distractions. But when those passengers are rowdy, rambunctious children that don't understand how to behave, well, that's where there's a lot of problems. So make sure you tell the kids to behave or we're going to crash this car. I'm going to pull this car over if you don't. Did your parents ever say that?
Oh, yeah.
Did they ever do it?
No.
No, I remember my dad did it once. Once he pulled over, we all got really, really quiet and really good. Nothing happened after that, thank goodness. I don't know where we were going, but we pulled over. Hey, next 2 things on the list are playing with controls, messing with the radio, whatever, or eating is on the list as well of a deadly distraction. So those are all, according to the folks at Virginia Tech and U.S. News and World Report put that out. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Get your eyes back on the road now. Thanks for listening this weekend.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
I think this is an interesting story right here. Donnie Harvey stopped by to visit a friend in the York County Jail. His friend was in there for armed robbery, and unfortunately, Donnie was wanted in the same case.
Oh, my gosh.
Cops,
are you kidding? And so he went to see him?
Well, cops think that he stopped by to make sure his friend wasn't going to rat on him. So he doesn't need to worry about him ratting on him now because the cops have him as well.
Man.
But he was wanted, and he's like, I just don't want him to tell him that I was involved.
What an idiot.
So I'm going to go in, and I'm going to tell him not to tell on me.
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't work very well for Don Harvey, so
No.
good luck next time, maybe. Maybe better luck. Coming up, we're going to head to Moline, Iowa to talk about some monumentally stupid thing that happened there. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
Have we ever been to Moline, Iowa?
I don't believe so.
For some reason, I think I've seen that sign. I wonder where. I'm going to have to look on the map to see where they are. Anyway, 17-year-old David Lieb made a monumentally stupid move there. He took his car and put some strobe lights on it with red and blue lights to look like an emergency vehicle.
Yeah.
And he thought, hey, I'm going to have some fun and pull somebody over. Well, he pulled over Milan Beltway. Pulled a couple over on the Milan Beltway. Unfortunately, the people that he pulled over, one was an officer for the Mercer County Sheriff, and it was he and his wife.
Wow.
Realizing something wasn't quite right, they called 911. A female officer that was on duty actually stopped by and responded. She pulled over the car with the flashing lights and found the guy behind the wheel. So why was he doing that? What did he say when he got arrested? He said, it was kind of a stupid idea. Yeah, no kidding.
But
why was he doing
he was
it?
just having fun.
No, I was having fun. I thought it'd be funny. I guess that was a stupid idea.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a very stupid idea. Don't do that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
One of these days, I'd like to go to the beach. Got a story here about Pompano Beach, Florida. Get there for Steve Cipriano. He was doing what he'd been doing for the last 15 years, driving a bus. And in the last 15 years, he's had a lot of times, he's had to deal with a lot of sleepy people and angry people and drunk people and drugged out people, but nothing, I mean nothing, is like what happened to him last Tuesday. An unidentified irate passenger complained to Steve that he wasn't going fast enough, and he said, "You're going to make me late for work." So when the guy finally got off at his stop, guess what he did?
What's that?
He turned, and he gave Steve a burst of pepper spray in the face.
Oh, my gosh.
Keep in mind, this guy was driving the bus that just dropped this guy off.
Oh, my gosh.
Steve said, "I couldn't breathe. I started coughing. I had to get outside and get some air." Everyone else on the bus was also coughing because it was enclosed. The guy was walking away nonchalantly, then turned around and said something along the lines of, he'd get me next time. I'll get you next time. Something along those lines.
Oh, my gosh.
Fortunately, the jerk was filmed on the bus security camera. Police are on the lookout for the guy. Again, this happened to Steve Cipriano. He's been driving the bus for 15 years.
Wow.
Never, ever, ever had anything like that. Got sprayed with pepper spray.
That is awful.
And he was telling the bus driver to speed up, and the guy's going, I can't speed. I'm driving as fast as I can. Well, you're going to make me late for work. No, sir, you're making yourself late for work. If you didn't get on the bus in time, the bus wasn't going 2 miles an hour. They were going the regular speed. And this guy got pepper sprayed in the face.
Poor guy.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'd be looking for a new job.
Well, I hope they catch the bad guy that did it, because that's just bad. You don't want those kind of people out there. All right, coming up, we got some good news to share. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
We always try to wrap this program up with some good news, and I don't know that this is necessarily good news, but it certainly put a smile on my face. This is something kind of fun. Since it's the weekend, I figured I would share this. Can we do that? Is that legal? Is that good?
Sure.
It's the story of the pig and the cow. Have you ever heard of this?
I don't think so.
So it says, "Why is it," said a rich man to a minister, "that people call me stingy when everyone knows that when I die I'm leaving everything to the church?" The minister said, "Let me tell you a fable about the pig and the cow. The pig was unpopular, while the cow was beloved. This puzzled the pig. People speak warmly of your gentle nature and your sorrowful eyes," the pig said to the cow. "They think you're generous because each day you give them milk and cream. But what about me? I give them everything I have. I give bacon and ham. I provide bristles for brushes. They even pickle my feet. Yet no one likes me. Why is that? Do you know how the cow answered? Said the minister. The cow said,
Moo.
Perhaps, well, maybe that's what he would have. That's probably a better answer. But he said, perhaps it's because I give while I'm still alive. I thought that was pretty cool. Because the cow is giving milk all the time. And it's you have to wait till the pig is dead to get the bacon. So I thought that was kind of cool. Brian Kavanaugh shared that with me. Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you very much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a weekend, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. We've got, I guess I really don't have anything else to share, so it's time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
I have stuff, but I was just looking at how much time we have left and not enough. So goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break, only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems, and they have a really cool program. If you have funds that are earning less than 6%, you might want to check this out. CommercialMortgageBridgeLoans.com. A commercial mortgage bridge loan pays 6% to 8%. Could be just what you need. And you're in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate, things like hotels, apartments, office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value, and you get 6% per year, and you get a check every single month. And then your principal is returned in full at the end of the cycle as well. If you'd like some more information, go to CommercialMortgageBridgeLoans.com, or I'm going to give you a phone number if you'd rather call, 888, it's toll-free, 888-547-8007. Again, 888-547-8007. Now, for our bonus break here on the weekend, I'm actually going to just, we're going to have a conversation, the two of us. We're going to talk about this. And then I'm going to invite folks who want to go onto our Facebook page and chime in as well. So we're going to talk about this right here. Creativity. What have you created that you were most proud of? Is there something that you've created that makes you proud, Heidi?
My children. Your
children? I guess that's pretty darn good. That's a good answer for something creative. Creativity. What have you created that you're most proud of? So you're saying, no, what if that's off limits and you can't just say your kids?
Why couldn't I say my kids? I created my kids.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. What have you created? I mean, something. Have you ever?
We built our house.
There we go. That was pretty cool. Created a fun company.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to post that on our Facebook page. You can go on and chime in. And I'd love to know what kind of things people have created, their creativity. So Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Chime in and let us know what you think. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus break right here. Again, brought to you by CommercialMortgageBridgeLoans.com.